From my own experience in the first Dying Light game, I'm going to talk about everything Techland did right with the nighttime chases in the Dying Light sequel. Starting off with the nighttime in general. The nighttime is now more refined, nighttime lasts longer, and volatiles actually wander the streets, which makes it all the more terrifying, as these creatures are stronger than your usual Dying Light volatile. The new volatiles have 3 times more health than the original Dying Light volatile, making them extremely difficult to be able to kill. Getting into a chase with one of these things doesn't seem terrifying right off the bat, but the moment your chase level hits level 2, it becomes a lot more difficult. As an experienced player in the very first Dying Light, I've got to say, it is extremely difficult. From going to guns to crossbows, it makes it extremely, let's say, life-threatening. It feels like if a zombie grabs you, your entire life is at risk, as volatiles will immediately come to swarm you. That is, if you're in a chase. You can try and slide away, you can try and climb away. The minimap is gone, making it extremely difficult to navigate where you're going. Without the minimap, you don't know where you're going. You just gotta improvise. Every single direction you take, every move you make can risk your entire XP bonus. No matter where you go, nowhere is safe. You can try and run to rooftops, climb away, but in the end you can't really escape the volatiles. You gotta make it to a safe zone. Mind you, be careful, they can and will knock you off of a wall where you're climbing. Take this clip for example. Knocks you right off the wall, you can't do anything. So you immediately have to run away and find a way to escape. Personally, I love using the long jump or the far jump to get away. Anything you do in this game has a risk to it. Take falling as an example. If you don't hit that roll, you are going to go into a 1 second stun lock, and that 1 second stun lock can be your demise. If a volatile hits you, you're going to lose 1 full bar of HP, and at the start of the game you only have 4 bars of HP. If you're not upgrading your HP, nighttime is going to be extremely difficult, not to mention you have to go to like 2 runs to upgrade your health to the maximum, to the point where you can only take, mind you, 13 hits from a volatile. Volatiles in this new version of Dying Light now shoot their acid about 3 times more than they usually would. Climbing is much slower, no matter how much you upgrade it to like its maximum, which is like level 2, you're going to be climbing extremely slow compared to the first game. So jumping and running are more versatile. If you try to climb in the middle of a chase, like say a 2-layer wall, one that takes you 2 button presses to climb, that's going to probably end up in your demise. And there's also barbed wire. You can take up to, I'd say, a quarter of your HP, specifically 1 bar of HP, by just touching barbed wire. And then there's the toxic waste, that stuff that was just behind you, glowing green. That stuff can kill you extremely quickly if you step into it. Volatiles crawl out from under cars, under crevices. You can accidentally grab onto something that could also be your demise, depending on how much HP you're at. You can try and use a long jump, but sometimes it won't even register, and you just might fail that long jump. Wall running isn't really necessary, but it helps. It helps restore your, stamina, so you can continue running. If you miss a long jump, don't fret, you can always do another one. But you can also use your dart to escape from your opponent. Long jumps are pretty much necessary when escaping volatiles. They help you in the long run. So I'd suggest using a long jump as much as you physically can. Since volatiles are much more common, it's extremely difficult to escape them. Here I am at level 3, you can't see it, but there's over 15 volatiles currently chasing me. There's not much you can really do besides run. Try and climb into a building, you're probably dead, but you can climb into a building depending on how much distance you have. Although entering a building can also be deadly, as there are zombies waiting for you. They will grab you if they get close enough and you awaken them. You can try and navigate your way out of the building and jump to another rooftop or to the ground. Just make sure not to miss your fucking roll when you hit the ground. You're gonna need to hit that roll so you don't gain a stun. If you gain a stun, you're pretty much dead. Now, all you have to do after that is to continue running. Acid will constantly be shooting you, making it 3 times more difficult. Because if you don't avoid that acid, that's taking 25 HP away from you. And then there's also the acid on the ground, which kills you extremely quickly. Bloaters, they explode when you get too close. So you'll need to find low areas to jump over, specifically using the long jump. Grapple hooks can also help you a lot, going straight up buildings. Even though if you run into a zombie here, you can just jump and escape. But, mind you, jumping off a building aimlessly will also lead to a dead end if you're not really lucky. And if you do run into a dead end, you can still make it through, but take a bit of damage. Now, there are also very small objects that can stop your character, which can get annoying. You're going to want to avoid as many hits as you can. If you get hit, you're going to lose a bit of HP. Not too much, but just enough to make a difference. If you have 1 bar remaining of HP, you want to save that as much as possible. If you have more than 1 bar, like even a quarter more, you're going to want to save that, because that will allow you to take 2 hits from a volatile. If the chase reaches level 4 and you know you're not going to make it, you're going to want to sprint straight to a safe zone, which is that purple sun symbol right in front of me. If you keep running towards it, you can make it to the safe zone. Be careful, zombies can grab you and you will need to push them off. If you don't have a UV light, you cannot throw them off of you like you usually could. Well, usually instantly, because usually you would use a light to throw them off. But if you don't have any of those UV torches, you're pretty much gonna have to spam your fucking interact button. Volatiles will be chasing behind you. They run about 50% faster than you, so you're gonna need to use that long jump as much as possible. Now, it's going to be pretty difficult, but you can make it to a safe zone. Once you make it to a safe zone, you should be safe, as in the name. You can use your tackle ability to tackle right through enemies and attempt to escape them. Mind you, if this fails, you're going to get hit. If you get caught in an open area or in a river, you're going to get acid shot at you constantly. It deals half a bar of HP, and that's going to be a lot of a difference. You can try and use yellow bounce pads, which sometimes aren't in the best area, and if not upgraded properly, don't launch you that high. So if you miss, you're going to want to try and get back to the ground in an area, well, anywhere safe actually. After you do that, you just need to keep running and you should be fine. Try to make it to another safe zone. That is, if you try to engage in another chase zone, you might make it. Chances are you will, but chances are you won't, also, depending on your levels and gear. See that? Fail to jump. That puts you in a 1 second stun lock, which is very deadly. Avoid any place with GRE anomalies, as they can be extremely difficult to take out. The volatiles also like third partying with GRE anomalies. Mind you, volatiles are basically immortal. Try to avoid them. Even with a 1000 damage weapon, it's difficult to kill them. It took me over, let's say, 5 minutes of hitting a single volatile with a purple 500 damage weapon. Entering safe zones isn't always safe, as they can kill you last second. In all honesty, Dying Light 2 is a really good game. I'd suggest you go try it. From the nighttime to the daytime is extremely calming and nighttime is terrifying, so I'd suggest avoiding the nighttime if you want a casual game. With that, good night and good luck.